Hey, welcome back. This is Shah. We got an update on Tyrese Gibson. Looks like he was arrested and taken into custody over unpaid child support. So we made a few videos on him over the past detailing his divorce, detailing how much money he owes. I think it was about like $20,000 a month. That was $10,000 in ongoing and $10,000 towards back pay that he still owes his ex-wife. So let's see what's going on here. Tyrese Gibson child support case released after contempt charge. Attorney files appeal. And just to make sense of that headline, back when I was working at the child support agency, when you had folks that were not paying, eventually the agency could file what was called a contempt charge. So we'd file a motion for contempt, and then there'd be a contempt hearing. And, at that point, the court has the power to send people to jail. Now, where I'm from in Sacramento, we didn't do that too often just because the jails were pretty full. So there'd be other kinds of things. Typically, they'd ask them to pay or make some kind of payment. Or if that didn't work, there might be some kind of community service type thing that they'd assign them to. And then eventually they, might send them for a couple days in jail. If they didn't show up, typically the court would issue a bench warrant, meaning if they got pulled over for anything, and the officer sees that there's a warrant out for their arrest, they would get taken in. Tyrese was released from custody Monday after his attorney Tanya Mitchell Graham filed an appeal of the judge's ruling. According to law enforcement sources, we are told the appeal means Tyrese did not have to pay the $73,000 before he was released. That does not mean he no longer owes the back child support. It's just delayed for now. It's the same legal maneuver Tyrese and his attorney made last year when the judge ordered him to pay up the child support. So it sounds like Tyrese is having his attorney appeal this case, maybe to send it into a higher court, because he believes there's an injustice going on here. He already owes $73,000 in back pay. We know from the stuff we saw in the previous videos how upset he is about this. But the fact is he's just going to have to pay more money. Sending it into an appeals court is probably going to cost him a lot more, especially in attorney time. So he's kind of just kicking the can down the road. But unless he can come up with the money, they might send him back into jail again. Tyrese Gibson is in custody for failing to pay the amount of child support ordered by the court, TMZ has learned. The singer, actor, and dad to 5-year-old Soraya with ex-wife Samantha Lee was in Fulton County Court Monday morning to face the judge in the ongoing child support battle, and the hearing did not go well for Tyrese. Now, if you remember from the last video, I played a clip showing how angry the judge got with him. And I'll show it again to you guys later because it's in the article. But that judge, especially if it was the same judge doing the contempt, already was annoyed by his antics. Judge Kevin Farmer was clearly fed up with Tyrese's refusal to pay the $10,000 per month Farmer ordered him to start paying way back in April 2023. So today, he held Tyrese in contempt of court. The bailiff put him in handcuffs and marched him out of the courtroom. And if you guys remember back then, the headlines were saying he owes $20K a month. And it's nice to see the confirmation here because it's $10K a month ongoing, meaning the actual child support amount is $10,000 a month for the child. But when that order was made, he already owed a past period that hadn't been paid. So they had tacked on an arrears payment, which was significantly higher, leading to an even greater amount needed to be paid per month. Now, Judge Farmer did say Tyrese can square things up and avoid jail if he coughs up $73,000, which includes $7,500 for Samantha's attorney's fees. Looks like Tyrese saw his arrest coming. Sunday on IG, he called Samantha's moves goofy, while insisting he's totally innocent. So we got an IG, looks like post here from Tyrese where he goes on a rant. We'll react to that later as a bonus. It does take up a little bit of time. So let's get to the rest of the story first. He says it was all just baby mama drama at the end of the day because he says there was a prenup that covered everything for their 2020 divorce. He also took a swipe at Samantha's lawyers, questioning why they didn't ask to see his bank statements, claiming that would show he's been paying child support. Instead, he says they just checked out his movies on IMDb and saw him as a cash cow to milk.
So in 2018, when you were financially in shambles, do you know how much you made that year?
I don't.
Well, according to your tax return, you made $2.221 million. It's Page 32. Do you want to check my math?
Sir, I'm asking you because I don't do the CFO thing. Here's a question to you, smart
No,
person.
hey, that's enough. You go sit down, we're taking a break, lawyer's back now. If you do it again, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. You don't ask any questions. That's not how this works.
What's really important about this clip, at least to me, is you see how you get treated in court. And the fact is, you know, to be charitable, they probably already explained the rules to him. Like, hey, listen, you're up here. You're going to be asked questions. Your job is to answer the questions. You're not allowed to ask questions back. He's a celebrity and he's a charming guy. He's probably just used to using his charm and this and that in order to, smooth things out in his life. But when you're in court, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how charming you are. Doesn't matter how quote unquote high value you are, or if you're a celebrity or what your status is. That's what you're going to have to deal with. Like, there's no alphaing the state here. You're not going to schmooze your way out of that. And, he tried to pull a little bit of, hey, smarty pants, let me ask you a question. And the judge was like, no. And he even threatened to hold him in contempt there, which could have led to an arrest also. Is it true Tyrese has been paying something? As of last year, he was paying Samantha about $2,200 each month, far short of the judge's number. Remember, Tyrese and Judge Farmer have had their battles over the years, including a contentious showdown in 2022. Our sources say Tyrese is currently making arrangements to pay the $73,000, so it doesn't appear he will remain in custody for too much longer. Wow, so he's only paying $2,200 of that. I don't know if it's because he doesn't have the money to pay the $10,000 a month, or if it's because that's what he thinks a fair amount is. But the fact is, the more he kicks this down the road, the more interest on back pay on what's owed, the arrears, is just going to continue to climb. It's going to cost him more in legal fees. It looks like he's just fixing to pay this anyway, so it's going to be a loss for him. Unless they can prove his income was different. And what we saw in the clip, that attorney had his tax returns from that year that they were using to calculate support. So it's not really looking good for him, and he's probably just going to have to end up paying. Let's go ahead and take a look at the IG clip just to see, what he said and what's in there. It's probably going to be a little long. I might cut some of it out if it's chaff, but we'll see what he's saying.
I ain't never been arrested, never went to jail in my life. Never. Why? Because I don't do anything illegal. I want to send this message out to all of the fathers. This is not man versus woman. Make sure I say that. Take all that shit off the table. What I love right now is that from all of the interviews that I've been doing, all of the women who are probably always going to see things through the lens of a woman, feminist, women's group, it's like, I don't care if the woman is wrong. I don't care what she doing. What's she asking for? What's she trying to get in alimony? Trying to crack the prenup? Trying to get this for child support? I don't give a fuck how wrong she is. Most women are always going to see things through the lens of women. So I feel like we're in a real place right now where I could not be more proud of the women that have been vocal and outspoken about all of this goofy shit that my ex is doing and still doing. As a matter of fact, both of my ex. Now, I know y'all are quick to say, playing victim, gaslighting, manipulation, narcissist. They gonna put all kind of shit on you to make sure that whatever they decide to believe about you is what they want to believe, because what? I was born a man. I got it. No one's after me. There's no Crips and Bloods after me. There's nobody in corporate America after me. There's nobody at none of these movie studios after me. There's none of these record labels after me. I got baby mama drama. You get in a relationship with an entertainer who happens to be a public figure, or somebody who's a real estate tycoon, or somebody in the tech space, or somebody who has an actual profitable business. Now, this is what's crazy. Since I've been so public about all the shit that I've been dealing with, you would not, I have lost count of how many women who have walked up to me who are the high net worth individuals, the ones with all the money and the success, talking about how their ex-husband is getting alimony and how the husband is getting child support payments and the husband is getting all that he's doing, freeloading. The husband got the house. Doesn't really happen that often, but when you were born a man, you go into a courtroom and you understand clearly that there is a preset menu that says you were born a man, fuck you. That's what the preset menu says. Now, y'all, I've been laughing, smiling, having fun, doing my interviews, my vibrations and my energy has been up, and I've been over here silently and quietly in a certain capacity fighting these attacks. Why does Samantha's lawyers just request all of my bank statements? Why are they sending screenshots of my IMDb page, which stands for Internet Movie Database? They're looking up all the movies that I just did and asking for money and what's in this account and how much money did you make for Voltron Travel and how many albums have you sold and this and that. Like, leave me the fuck alone, man.
That's honestly enough that I need to see, you know, and it almost looks like he's on the precipice of a mental breakdown. There is clearly someone who just wants to be left alone. You know, this was recorded before he got taken into custody, so it only got worse after that. But this is what child support does. I mean, this is the kind of power it has. It can just barge into your life. You know, it can make you have to pull up your skirt or your pants and show them everything. And that's frankly what happens. Every single album sale, every single movie he's in, every little penny that he makes that comes to his name, they're up there questioning him, just like in that clip with the judge yelling at him. Right before that, the attorney was asking him about his income. And there's nothing he can do about it. That's the system. He's calling them goofy, you know, and saying all these kinds of things like, well, they're acting goofy. But you know what? The fact is, that's the law. And it doesn't matter if you're Tyrese Gibson or if you're just a normal guy. That's what you got to deal with. I do find it interesting that he mentions the women who come up to him and are telling him about how unfair it is that they have to pay child support, which I find kind of ironic. You know what I mean? Because they probably didn't expect that, you know, especially with them being the higher earner, and it probably makes them double think that. So if you've been keeping up with my channel, you know I just got done interviewing Dr. Stephen Baskerville, and we discussed the entire system from its inception up until what it is now, and exactly how really what this system is was something that was created as an enforcement arm for welfare, to get welfare tax dollars back. Then it became so powerful that it intruded onto the private lives of citizens, just like Tyrese Gibson here. You can't even be a celebrity or a rich upper class person without this system barging into your life. And it wasn't always like that. He's upset about it. He can't believe this is happening to him. It doesn't make any sense. It seems like an obvious injustice. But the more he kicks and screams, the worse it is. So anyways, that's our Tyrese Gibson update. I'll keep an eye on this, see what happens. Probably he's just going to have to pay the money. He's just going to have to pay the money. He lost. She got him. She got him good. I think they were married for like just about a year, you know, enough to get the child. She dipped out of there. He's the one making the money. He was probably in love. You know, she was in business. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. And she got what she's looking for. And the judge, everybody supports her. There's nothing he can do about it. He just has to pay the money. He just has to pay the money. This is probably something he never really even thought about. He did get the prenup. Sounds like he got the prenup, but the attorneys are working on challenging it. So if that happens, I mean, then alimony is going to happen at that point. And God forbid custody becomes a bigger issue for him. So he's living a nightmare right now. And this is what I'm used to seeing. You know, I remember seeing this all the time when I worked at the child support agency. And it just got it in my mind so well. A lot of these guys out here with their plans, and they think they got a plan, especially they're going to be the big masculine alpha provider. You know, it's the way it's supposed to be. This is what happens. This is what happens. The only guys that won are the ones who married women that were making comparable amount of money, or they married a breadwinner. You know, they used all those game skills they've been learning from different parts here on the internet, and they're like, ooh, she's a nice pharmacist, I'm going after her. And now they're getting child support paid to them. And, you know, this is just another great example of a person's life just turned upside down. And another broken family, courtesy of the child support system in the United States. If you like this video, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one.